So I'm trying to tell that the question came to me as, how did I get to be Bhikkhuni? I could not simply answer very quickly. I have to trace back my own life, The very first question that occurred to me was not question but awareness. It was not about Bhikkhuni, but it was about the possibility of a woman to be ordained or to become a Machi. And the first person I learned of this being Machi was my own grandma. My own grandma was not educated. She raised her 6 children by herself because her husband died at a very early age. And later on, when all her children grew up, she became Machi. In spite of the fact that she could not read, she could not write, she memorized all the chanting until she was appointed as the chief Machi of that particular temple in Bangkok. So the young Machis would come to her and ask her the knowledge of the chanting, which chanting, this one, this one, this one. So in my training of the seminaries now, some of them always have an excuse that I'm not educated. I cannot write, I cannot read. I said, that is not an excuse, because I have seen in my life how my grandma, without writing, without reading, she could lead the Machi to do the chanting, morning chanting, evening chanting. Now, she passed away when she was 66. Before passing away, she told her children, including my mother, that I will be reborn again after 1 year. Very interesting. She died on the 6th of October, 1943. I was born 6th of October, 1944. So that was the first awareness of myself, knowing that someone in my family was a Machi. It's a woman who actually led a religious life successfully. In her case, I would say successfully, because she became the chief Machi, Bhikkhuni Machi. Then came my mother. When my mother was ordained, I was only 12 years old. No, I was 10 years old when my mother was ordained. Again, she was not ordained as a Bhikkhuni, because in Thailand we could not get ordination as Bhikkhuni. But now it's getting closer to my life, about my grandma. I didn't know. That's just the history that passed on from her to me. From my mother, the day when she decided to be ordained, we did not know. I was too young. Maybe she just took us with her one afternoon, took us with her to Wat Bawon. And towards Wat Bawon, she went into a barber shop and had her hair shaved. And we as kids, we were kind of startled, didn't know what to do, didn't know what to say, just simply walked after my mother to the temple where she actually went to Tukun Pramuni, the deputy chief monk of Wat Bawon, who later on also became the king's teacher. This present king, this chief monk, was also the king's teacher when the king was ordained. So that experience was getting closer about women being ordained. It happened in my own life. I felt shy walking behind her and thought that maybe people were looking at me. People around, when we walked to the marketplace, people must be watching us. And I was kind of feeling shy. But then, she started to grow her community. More and more women came to her, joined this. She was wearing yellow, this color, light yellow. And all the nuns practicing with her, wearing this, all young ones, not like old Sangha now, all young ones. By the time I was 13, that was the year 2500 BE, Buddhist era. And my mother said, to me and to my sister that this is a very good year because they were celebrating. We believe that this age of Buddhism will last 5,000. So when it comes to 2,500, it's halfway. So big celebration was going on in this country, and that time my mother suggested that we should receive ordination. That was not my idea. I didn't want to be ordained at all. But my sister accepted. My sister accepted because that year she was having difficulty to pass through her exam, and she made a wish that if she passed through her exam, then she would become a mechi. Because of her, I was forced to also become mechi with her. So we shaved and we put on this light yellow and remained as a nakbod. Nakbod means like monastic women. For 47 days during our summer vacation. That was the time when I was trained with the chantings. All the chantings that I now teach the Samaneris, I learned when I was 13 years old. Therefore, even to say this, Yatha Varimaha, giving blessing, I learned when I was 13. So when I actually became Bhikkhuni much later in my life, it became natural. It became natural. Now this family setting, it was not only my mother. Later on, my father also became ordained as a bhikkhu when he was in his 58 and remained as a bhikkhu until he died, 18 years after. Then my aunt, my only aunt from my father's side, my father's elder sister, she was very snobbish in her days, when she was young. But later in her life, she also took the robe and became mechi. So you see, people around me somehow find satisfaction in life in being monastics. Whether monastic as white robe mechi, whether monastic as this yellow, light yellow mechi, or later on Bhikkhunis. So the idea of Bhikkhunis has already been planted long time back. Very few people knew that I actually shaved my head and became a mechi for 47 days when I was 13 years old. I remember when I went back to school, again I felt so shy with this shaved head, going to school. But surprisingly, I was so warmly welcomed by my classmates. They thought that it was such a great thing that I did. They never, they never teased me. So I was really blessed to have such a very good group of friends, in my school day. So this idea of ordination was planted long time back.